primarily used for DeFi, for cryptocurrency trading. What we're trying to do is bring a stablecoin into the market that would primarily be used for commerce and cross-border remittance. And the DM protocol was purpose-built for payments, and that's why it was attractive for us. And we're excited to now own that technology and to bring a stablecoin to the market, hopefully by the end of this year.
Alan, we'll have to have you back as regulators put more guardrails on this industry. That's Silvergate Bank CEO Alan Lane. Emily, back to you.
Shanali, Alan, thanks. Coming up, it is not the ring that rules them all, but it can track your sleep, heart rate, and even your body temperature. We're going to see how it fares or will fare in the crowded field of wearables.
We were just now live, and in fact tried to go live earlier, had a hiccup. We just had David Sachs speaking with a Bloomberg columnist by the name of Tim O'Brien, speaking a bit about what is going to happen with Twitter. And this is obviously the big news of the day. And I think, we chatted a little bit about this earlier, that Twitter going private is not a bad thing. A lot of these analysts like Tim O'Brien from Bloomberg and others that are showing up to speak about this as if they were operators or builders themselves, keep going back to issues related to, the revenues, the growth of, a small vending machine. We haven't seen new feature sets being developed.
Companies now, they're getting
the idea of what is
hundreds,
free,
maybe even
free
thousands
speech.
of applications.
And I think what we're going to
come
most likely
in
see
to
is
automate the process.
You want to
we're
write your
going to
resume
see
for robots
an
and not for
operator like
humans.
Elon
The
come in
only job
and
your
do an
resume
audit
has
and
is
clean
to be
house
comprehensible
and be able
to the
to
software
continue
that
to
is
create
reading
feature
it,
sets
because
that are
that
going to
software
help
or robot
enable
is going to decide whether or not a human
the
ever
users,
gets their eyes
right?
on
It's all
it.
about the
These things
users,
are programmed by
as Tron
a certain
said.
segment of the population
And
that might not
we
be
really
totally
want to be able
inclusive
to
or not
ensure
be
that
fully
Twitter,
aware.
that this
Concerns about
platform
how this technology
maintains
could
being
exacerbate discrimination. For
this
the FTC, I think
real-time,
foremost, the FTC needs to be making sure that we're fully understanding this technology.
which is really what
We
really
don't
value
trust
is.
companies
There
to
is no other
self-regulate when it comes to
platform
pollution. We don't trust
that
them to
acts
self-regulate
the
when it
way
comes to
that
workplace
Twitter does in
comp.
real
Why
time. You
on
have
earth
TikTok, you
would
have
we
Instagram,
trust
you
them
have
to
Facebook,
self-regulate AI?
but in terms of the closest thing to this, again, global consciousness that we are all trying to achieve, Twitter is this. So, in summary, I think it's wonderful that Elon has taken over
because when you
the
subscribe
actual
to Bloomberg, you won't just get news.
and I
You'll
think
get insight
we're going to
into
see some
limitless
real changes.
possibilities.
It's very exciting.
Before
I
you
think
change the world,
we've seen many billionaires purchase.
I think that it's hard to put your head around that narrative. Let's just be honest. We've had sort of a shift in, are we in some sort of stagflation fears moment?
This is
People were talking about that all day yesterday.
Extraordinary for a billionaire to go out and purchase media outlet. So we'll put it straight back to Bloomberg here. I've invited some folks to come on live here. Our intention, this is right now the Jason Carvalho show. We might rename it. We haven't figured that out. We're just kind of pushing content, as Gary Vee would say. In fact, actually, I might get a comedian who does an amazing impression of Gary Vee on here. I'll have to tweet him. But what we really are trying to do is trying to talk daily about space, finance, and building a company, a startup. So those are the three major topics that we're going to push. We're going to try and get this out to TikTok, get some of the content out there to get some new users in. Ultimately, this is going to be an exercise of how do you build an audience. As an individual that's a bit more mature, not in my 20s, that actively have the amount of time that I think some of the younger influencers have, who are dedicating their entire lives to building their brand out and so forth. Ultimately, the value, I think this actual medium is going to bring is, everything is going 24/7. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to go to YouTube, go online, and connect with an expert. We've seen great products like Clarity.fm, Startups.com, purchased Clarity.fm a few years ago and rolled it up. But that is a great product created by a great Canadian, Dan Martell, which really understood the future of real-time advice. And in a world where there are multiple experts globally, there's millions of experts on any given subject. my intent is to try and get my brand out there, build a voice for space tech, which we've seen just
we really
take off over the last 5 years. And we're now moving into a very exciting time
and
about,
I think that right now this transition
the
is
economy, the
indicative
space
of where
economy
the
kind of
company
growing.
is
So
in its scale and
with
stage
that being
of
said, I'm
growth.
going to push
And
it back
Tom's
to
really the
Bloomberg
leader
turned on,
that we
and I'm
need
going to
right
try and
now.
see if
With
I
this CEO
can
search,
get
we
some
were
people
looking
to
for a
jump on
nuanced
here while we're
combination of
live.
deep technical and product
Again, if you're
expertise
just tuning in, thanks for tuning
with
in.
an authentic
We're going
cultural
to try
fit
and
with our
have
international
daily
team and aspirational
shows,
mission.
live
It was a
stream,
really
which are just
tall
going to be
order.
saved here.
And
We'll
Tom
have to figure
immediately
out the
rose to the top.
designs for
He brings decades of technology
thumbnails
leadership
and all that good
across
stuff. We've seen
complex
Mr. Beast
consumer
doing a
and
bunch of
B2B
things.
companies. He's got
We're
knowledge of
going back to some
subscription
of his
business
older
models and
posts,
driving
having
international
new,
expansion forward. He's got situational
well-designed
experiences
thumbnails
in
and
scaling
reactivating
teams
some
from
of that
hypergrowth
content.
through
So
IPO,
we're just starting
all
out.
of which
We're
is
not going to be too
critical
worried
to
about that
Aura
at this
in
point.
this
We're just
next
going to
phase
try
of
and see if we
growth.
can,
Now,
push
Tom,
the
you've got
content.
some interesting
So
sports
with that being said, I'm going to go
partnerships.
back
I
to
know Chris
Bloomberg and see if
Paul
I can get
is a
a
user,
guest on here.
Lindsey Vonn, partnerships with the NBA, WNBA, NASCAR, F1. How do you think these kinds of relationships can help drive growth?
Well, everybody aspires to be like a superhuman, but not everybody can be Chris Paul. But exercise is only one portion of the equation of health. Sleep is the other part. And quite frankly, when we start to hear about the troubles that some of our ambassadors are facing, learning to sleep better, it's really inspiring to everybody. We all want to be like Lindsey Vonn, but we can relate to her. And I think that's really one of the powers of Aura, is that it's available for everybody. I know that personally for myself, because in the fall of this year was a pretty stressful year, and my sleep was really hammered. I ordered an Aura ring over the holidays, improved my sleep and my overall health within a matter of weeks. And when I saw that power, that behavior, that just made it clear that this was an opportunity I had to jump at.
Now, Aura is now valued at $2.55 billion, Yuri. Is an IPO coming up soon? Will we see something like that this year?
We're just getting started here. We're eager to build out our membership experience for both the individual consumers as well as our enterprise partners. When we originally invested in Aura's Forerunner back in 2019, we always believed in the big vision of changing population level health, that with each ring, each night of sleep, all of this would ladder up to data and insights that could really save people's lives. We're beginning to deliver on those aspirations, and as we scale, we'll certainly consider the best financing paths to support growth, including going public and being available for all to take part in our collective success. But for right now, we've got our heads down, and we're going to continue to deliver the best experience for our members.
Tom, how are you thinking about the macroeconomic environment? Obviously, markets are in turmoil. I think we're starting to see it bleed into the private markets. Inflation is a big concern for all consumers.
Well, interestingly enough, stress and anxiety is really good for our business. So quite frankly, I think we might see some benefits from that. But clearly the macro market is one we got to pay attention to. And frankly, we're just here for the long term to build our business and build the value for our customers.
Yuri, I got to ask you, women hold just 6.7% of board chair roles globally. So, the fact that you're in that seat means a lot. What more can we do to move the needle here?
It's a stat I actually recently learned myself. I did know that it was a rarity to be a chairperson of a board. I've been, honored to serve on the Aura board since 2019, and I took over because the team asked me to. They felt like I had a collaborative leadership and communication style that could bridge the various voices around the table. And it turns out strong communication and listening skills are two of the most helpful skills to have in leading a board. So, I know companies are working hard to add women to their boards. I think that it's about 20% now of women holding board seats globally, which is good, but not great. I think further elevating women to board chair positions not only adds those diverse voices to the decision-making, but also fundamentally changes the way boards are run.
Amen to that. Yuri Kim of Forerunner Ventures, chair of the Aura board, along with Aura CEO Tom Hale. Thank you both. We'll keep watching. And that does it for this edition of Bloomberg Technology. Big day tomorrow again. Earnings from Meta, PayPal, Pinterest. We'll also be joined by Ann Wojcicki of 23andMe. I'm Emily Chang in San Francisco. This is Bloomberg.
So we're just going into a commercial break here. And I've done a bit of texting to a few folks to see if we can get anybody on here. It's about 10 minutes live, and this is our second kind of episode where we're just we're unfiltered, we're live. My intention is, if I can, to jump on at around what time is it? It's around 5:57 Eastern Standard Time. But if I can jump on around 2 o'clock PST for Emily Chang's
institution
show,
I know of wants you to
that might be
serve
very
on their board,
interesting
and
to
you're
kind of
very
do
involved in the art
commentary on a
world.
regular
What
basis.
is it about art that attracts
We're
you?
gonna add Carson.
Well, art is essential in a
Let's go
democracy.
add Carson. We got Carson here. What's
Art
up,
is
buddy?
so
Let me just.
important.
What's up, Jason? How's it going?
Good,
What
man. I'm
art
just
does to
I'm
young
playing around
people
right now
know that,
with let me see if I can add
exposure
you.
to
Let's
art,
go 1-to-1.
brings
Excellent,
about
excellent.
higher
So I'm
levels of
going. I've
empathy.
been doing this stream. I'm just trying to
It
stream
helps
live on a regular basis
people
right now. So
Can't really
understand
hear you right now.
how
I hear like
have you ever
the
used this
TV
software,
broadcast.
StreamYard, before?
and it just brings out
I can't really.
the
I
kind
can
of
hear like the
humanity
TV
in all
or
of
like
us.
the whatever
There are
video
times when
in
I
the
have
background.
observed
One
leaders.
second. 1 second here. Go ahead and mute that. Go ahead. Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said?
No, I did not.
Okay. How's this? Yeah. Have you ever used this program StreamYard before? StreamYard?
No, I have not.
Yeah. So StreamYard was started by 2 engineers out of UVic, and one went to UVic, another went to another school in the U.S. I think Portland, Oregon. They just sold this software to Hopin for $400 million. It was 3 engineers, and as you can see here, the value of this is I can kind of switch back and forth, between multiple things here. If I just keep, let me turn this back on.
Has clearly never engaged in beautiful poetry.
Can you hear Bloomberg?
Listened to the words of.
Pretty cool.
Let me just go back here. So I've got this crazy setup here, which I've, I've got multiple monitors. I've got a teleprompter in front of me, so I can see you while I'm kind of running everything. And I've got the live stream. I've got a Rodecaster Pro here. So essentially, I'm really just trying to go live about an hour once a day. And so this broadcast I was showing you, they moved into the Ed Sullivan show, or Ed something show, but there's a tech show on Bloomberg, which streams live on Bloomberg.com, and there's a Bloomberg.tv. And you have the ability to actually just kind of see what's happening in real time. So my intention is to kind of continue to build community through having some commentary on space on a regular basis, finance, and then startups. So, the thought process is to have kind of a real-time ability just for people to maybe just always be on and have people kind of jump on, ask questions, talk about, their startups and so forth. So, just doing the old Gary Vee content stuff. But yeah, you should check out the software. It's friggin' unbelievable. Like, have you seen any latency issues right now?
No, like everything seems incredibly smooth.
Yeah,
and the
look at
screen
this.
that you're presenting is also in very high quality.
Yeah, isn't that insane? That insane?
I'm not looking at my phone, so my screen's like this big, but it's
okay.
so crystal clear.
Yeah, so I did a test of this with a good buddy of mine from Vancouver. He's a developer too. He's working on some stuff. We did about a 2-hour stream, which is on the YouTube channel, and we were going back and forth. Like, I had YouTube videos of guys in VR. We were talking about VR, and we were watching this YouTube channel where the dude's just like always in VR, right? So it's like seeing him. He's got the Oculus on. And he's just kind of going nuts, and I think he was playing some kind of boxing game. And my buddy, he's a black belt, so he's kind of doing commentating at the same time, and it's like seamless. Like, this is seamless right now. It's unbelievable.
We're $400 million.
Yeah, man. You build something as tight as this. I mean, streaming by itself has always been difficult.
Yeah.
It was
Twitch. Cool. Saturday I went downtown for my friend's housewarming. He just bought an apartment downtown.
Okay.
It was really cool, and there's like 20 of us, and I got to show off my app.
Oh, amazing!
A lot of them were mind blown, man. They were mind blown.
So if there are, this is going to be saved. So I'm going to save this. It'll be saved. So just give us the one liner on the app, just for anybody that will ultimately watch this. We'll see. We'll see.
It's a social media for your close friends.
Where can you find it?
On the App Store, but
Excellent.
It's not currently available. It will be in the coming weeks.
Excellent. Look who I have here, Greg Carson, Greg. What's going on?
Pleasure to meet you, Greg.
Good to meet you. I was just on a handful of random calls, and I thought I'd swing by, say hi, see how things are going out here.
Perfect. I was just showing Carson the power of this setup I've got going on here. Where we've got the Bloomberg playing. We got some commentation. I was just doing some commentary on the latest discussions on Elon Musk acquiring Twitter. So, and Carson was just doing a pitch. So Carson, quickly do your story for Greg. Greg is a founder of an insurtech company right now, and
cool.
Probably the greatest B2B executive you ever met in your life.
I do okay.
He does okay, but Carson, do your pitch to this gentleman. I know he's a busy man, but
cool. I've been working on a tech startup. It's an app. It's a social media for your close friends. The big spin on it is that you're limited to 150 friends, and it's really the whole point is to take the outside noise of social media and leave you with just the people. So like you go on Instagram, you go on Facebook, you go on Twitter, you go on all these platforms to kind of see what the world is up to. But what's kind of missing right now is a place to see what your friends are up to.
Yeah. Run him through the use case. What university you're from again, Carson?
I'm from Queen's University.
Yeah. Tell him that quick. Just give him a quick 5-minute story of like how you went into finance, and then all of a sudden you went and did this. Tell him that story.
For sure. So I went to school in Canada, Kingston, Ontario, and I got an amazing opportunity. I worked at PwC in New York City. So I packed up my bags, moved down to America. I was working in international tax, and it was a great career. I had a great opportunity to consult some like tech clients in Silicon Valley. So I was going back and forth between San Francisco and New York, and that's the first time I really got introduced into tech. And then COVID came, and I spent a little bit of my downtime just like learning how to code, and then I slowly figured out that I'm actually like really good at this. It's kind of how my brain works. Like I'm really good at pattern recognition and logic games. So I started picking up like some small individual projects, but then once I realized like I had a real knack for it, I said, what if I pursue this full time? So I took a leap of faith. I left my finance job and I moved back into my parents' house in Toronto, and I've been going for a year and a half straight now, working on this one app.
That's great. I love the leap of faith. As you might have noticed here, I do not have a full China set, not to my name at least, but this is behind me. It's my parents' one, so I'm currently at their place in Oshawa, Ontario.
You're in Oshawa? I'm in Pickering.
Right up the road? Yeah. No, I'm from around these parts. I live in Toronto today, but I do come down here. So if I have a week where I know it's a bit more muted, like I don't have like in-person meetings, I'll come work here for a bit, maybe help out around the house, see what the parents are up to, and yeah, no, it's great. But yeah, that's exciting. How's living at home again, especially in Pickering? How's that going?
It's actually very nice because for a long time I wasn't at home. So I started university in 2014, and I was a member of the Queen's varsity football program. So I was on the team. I spent every summer in Kingston training with the team, and the one summer where I wasn't, that I didn't stay with the team, I moved to New York for the internship. So I really hadn't been living at home for more than 3 weeks since 2014. So this is gonna be like a really amazing time to be able to like spend some really nice quality time with my parents.
Yeah, no, that's neat. My little. Well, yeah, I mean, it's whatever.
Isn't this awesome? So, Greg, I was just saying to Carson. So this software was built by 2 engineers, one out of UVic. I think I mentioned this when we were chatting on Sunday. And have you noticed how seamless this is? There's no lag, right? Have you noticed any lag?
Great factors that executives talked about. The changes that Apple has made to third-party ad.
Like that's unbelievable. This is
I love it. That's great. I'm still getting over how much Bloomberg you watch. It's becoming problematic, Jason. Do I need to get on this band? Like, I don't know if it's a problem or if I need to get on this bandwagon. That's the issue that I have over here.
Look. Here's the banner. The banner says it all. Jason loves Bloomberg, but yeah, I have it on in the house, and so I was just saying to Carson, the reason why I jumped on this is because I'm trying to do a daily stream if possible, and so Bloomberg around this time of the day has like an hour session where they just go into just hot tech topics. So Emily Chang, who's the Bloomberg reporter, does a great job of a lot of cool interviews. So the thought is jump on while that is, do some commentary and just start getting the old chops warmed up. Maybe just text a bunch of people and randomly come on, and we'll start to see what happens, and start to create the content, right? So Carson, maybe you can stream this live to your younger generation of folks.
I'll show some people how to build some apps.
So Carson was introduced to me, Greg, through our one of our family friends, and he's a great guy, and he works with Cleta and some of the real estate world and so forth. And so Carson and I were just chatting, I think 3 weeks ago or something, Carson. And
yeah, something about that.
Yeah, and so Carson actually did a crowdfunding campaign for his app. It was successful from the perspective of he didn't fail, and then now it's just trying to get this thing live. And you talked to an IP specialist about the code and so forth, right? Peter Cohen, I think I introduced you to.
We had a good little chat. Yeah, it was definitely very insightful.
Tell Greg your problem again with the IP thing, or you're concerned about the IP and code.
I came up with my app has a timeline like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And I came up with a pretty interesting way to sort it. Like just present the data. And I was wondering, is that something worth protecting, or is it even possible to protect? So just put me in contact with a very good resource, and we just chat about that.
Neat.
Yeah. So what's on your docket there, Greg? You made it to what did you end up doing? So Carson, Greg, and I ended up meeting for coffee. He took me to, what is the wonderful restaurant you took me to?
So that was I keep forgetting what the name is. It's this Georgian restaurant on Queen East. It's really good. You can just get a plate of meat, potatoes, and vegetables, and that's the banner I was waiting for. But no, it's great. It's great. I love it. But yeah, started off like usually when I ride my bike. Like sometimes I'll ride it from Toronto to Oshawa. With way too many stops to make it people are like, oh, how long does that take you? It's way too long. I'll stop in Pickering by the water there and get a burger and a beer.
Yeah.
And, as you could imagine, if you're just hanging out and the weather's nice and you're just enjoying yourself, it takes hours for me to get back or me to get to Oshawa from Toronto. So
that's a long ride.
It is, but if you go at a moderate pace, it's not bad. You drink a little bit too much coffee.
Yeah, he's got stops. He's got a whole process where he stops at one place, goes to another, and then by the time you might be a little tipsy, but you're still enjoying. You're making a little bit of a day out of it. So.
Well, yeah, it got a bit confusing. My place near Guildwood Station just got shut down. It was this random bar in a strip mall, and we'd go there for a pint. But it's not there anymore, so it's kind of derailed the.
Oh no way! So shut down because of COVID, maybe, or something.
I think so. I went there during when they opened up after the first major lockdown. I went there, and it was pleasant, and everyone was just outside. There was no indoor dining or anything, but. Yeah, it just looks like they didn't survive, which sucks because if you live in that neighborhood and that's the only bar in really anywhere near there, and you just want to hang out with people and just grab a beer, I feel like you need a spot like that. And unfortunately, that neighborhood, dunzo,
gone.
Yeah.
Carson, where are you hanging out these days? If you have any spots, you been going anywhere outside of the
hanging out? Oh my goodness, I barely leave my house. I stare at these 11 by 11 room walls all day, and I just code. But when I would go out, I would definitely just catch the Lakeshore East train downtown and just see some of my buddies that live by Union Station, and then they just hang out with them in their place.
That's the way to do it. I mean, geez, I can't even the transit connection got worse in Oshawa, so even if I wanted to do something like that a little bit more regularly, JC, you're just nailing it with these banners, eh?
Man,
this is like CNN. This is the type of shit that you see on CNN. It's like something ridiculous the dude says, and you see it scrolling 5 seconds later.
Listen to what happened to me in my transport to head downtown this weekend and see my friend. So I usually just traditionally grab the train, but the trains weren't running this weekend because of construction. So I had to take a bus. My inconvenience. I had like 15 minutes and a couple bumps to the commute. So I hop on the bus. We're going down the 401, and to get downtown, you take the left on the DVP. But this time, the bus driver turns right and starts taking like the 404 towards Newmarket. I'm like, where's this guy going? I'm giving him every benefit of the doubt. I'm like, this guy must know something that we don't know. I have to check out my phone. There's an accident on the DVP. You know, he's trying to go around it. Every left that I think he's going to take to get to Toronto, he just drives right past it. He ends up driving all the way to the Vaughan subway station because the drivers were like going on strike at that very moment.
Oh my God.
He drive the whole bus to Vaughan. And now we're at the Vaughan subway station, and then we have to take the subway to Union Station.
That's so annoying because that drive from the top of the Don Valley, or at least the Don Valley to at the 401 to Union is like what, 10-15 minutes? But it'll take you like what, over an hour to get there from Vaughan Metropolitan?
Yeah, it was like 50 minutes to get to Vaughan, and then another like hour to get the trains. And then on the way home, they said that the buses weren't leaving from Union, so we had to go like incredibly far. We had to go. They wanted us to go back to Vaughan, so then I made a deal with my pops to come pick me up somewhere like York Mills. So I hop on the subway, but then the subway stops running, so I have to go hop on a bus, and then the bus stops, and I have to go back on the train. Oh, it was a headache. It was such a headache.
See, I was gonna come back to Oshawa here on Sunday, but when I saw that it was all buses, I thought I'm gonna wait till Monday morning. So I got up bright and early on Monday morning. I took the train in, but yeah, I saw those buses and I thought this is way too much. I think I saw them coming out of Vaughan. JC has a lot of background. This is very enterprising music, JC.
Isn't this crazy? Carson, Greg and I are big, fans, right? So
love bands. Bands are great.
That's a DJ. That's a DJ. DJ techno. Yeah. So this is coming from the program. This is coming from StreamYard. So all I'm doing is clicking a button under brand, scrolling down and finding the different music that I want to play in the background.
Isn't that awesome? Cool? This is a great platform to do presentations on. You can make your presentation very engaging.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Like I'm just stunned by it. Just some nice sad music, but when I don't want to go emo on you guys.
Wait, are you a subscriber, JC, or are you using the free edition?
I'm just using the free edition right now.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, this is free. This is the free edition. So Carson, what are your goals for this week? What's the big? You working on some feature sets, or you got some KPI action? What's going on?
Yeah, at this very moment, I was just working on very specific things. So in my app, when you comment on somebody's like post on their moment, you kind of like subscribe to get comments. So now anytime another one of your friends comments on it, like you also get it. But now I'm working on being able to choose who you get comments from. Get notifications from. So I'm working on my notifications.
So Carson, tell Greg who your target audience is again. Because Greg, what's fascinating about this is his target audience is going to be on this thing all the time, and we were talking about the monetization of it, obviously. And the question is, what is he going to monetize with? Well, he's got some local restaurants and other things that he's going to monetize, but what if Dundas Life ran some kind of marketing campaign with these guys? Carson, who's your persona? Who's your target market right now?
Are you talking about my users, or who is essentially am I gonna be like my customers?
Yeah, I mean, Greg, what do you say to that? What do you say to that question?
Oh,
are they synonymous? They're both.
Both. So my target audience is current university students and recent kind of like alumni. And pretty much anyone who's still kind of very active in their social life and wants to find ways to stay connected with like their immediate social group. And of course that can spread to any age group, but I find that it's strongest in like the current university landscape. And the app will kind of do best where there's like the largest community and kind of like a dense area. So one of the strengths of the app is kind of like bringing people together. So if you're in a community where there's people are just down the street, it'll perform very well there. And so since the whole goal of the app is to bring people together, one of my kind of big vision down the line is that I want to provide these people with like places to go near them. So I kind of connect them to like the local businesses and local events and show them activities near them to do what they can do.
Neat. Yeah, no, I think it's interesting because like if you were to ask me what's happening in this part of Oshawa today, I could not tell you. This has been a multi-decade problem.
Yeah, the idea itself like isn't welcome.
Who the hell is this? Is this Anthony?
You don't know Anthony?
No.
How's it going?
What's going on?
Yo, did you get a haircut?
I did. That was a while back, though.
What's it look like?
I look like I'm right out of
that makes sense. You did tell me you were going for the JC look. That's
of course
the Jason Carvalho. Yeah, no, totally.
What's going on? How's it going? What's going on, Anthony?
Not too bad. Just got off work doing some cooking.
Excellent. What are you cooking?
Probably just beef and rice, to be honest. It's my go-to.
Beef and rice. You know, this is going to be a banner. Perfect. So, Greg, did you just invite Tony?
What? I thought this was your guy.
No, this isn't my guy. Who invited Tony?
Yo, you've gone viral, JC. It's happening. Beef and rice all day.
Can't go wrong.
But no, JC, I thought I'd throw a wrench in here.
Yeah, this is perfect, isn't this? So this is so Tony, you're on what are you on, an iPhone or Android or what's going on? You're on mute. Like, isn't this crazy, Carson? Like,
yeah,
there's no lag.
Add people and people can come and go. That's a technology right here.
Is he hooking up to his headphones?
Headphones, probably.
So I was going to share something. Let's see if I can share another screen. I'm gonna go crazy with this thing. See what's up. So let's share another screen. I'll stop sharing that screen. I'm going to share another screen. So I can share the screen, the window, the tab. So in this case, I was talking with another space company today called Charter.Space. They are looking to be the full stack satellite logistics software solution. They're doing a $500,000 fundraise. They're based out of London, UK, and their CTO is based out of Singapore. So I was up at like 9 a.m. doing a call with these guys. Really fascinating stuff. Another, Greg, we can turn this into a whole fucking enterprise here where we're just pushing stuff to these guys. Yeah, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Are we just going to have people showing up here and pitching their space tech companies?
That's the end goal. I'm trying to get Mark on here, but Mark's not responding. I'm trying to get as many people on here as possible.
Oh, that'd be so jokes. I mean, I haven't seen or spoken to I've spoken to him, but I haven't seen the guy in. I mean, but anything before the pandemic is like a lifetime ago. It feels like.
Yeah.
Tony, you see this? See this banner, buddy? This is for you, friend.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
He's cooking beef and rice.
This is the type of real-time breaking news that the Carvalho Media Network likes to push out to its users.
Yo, Carvalho Media Network. Quick question for you.
Yeah, sure.
When we're looking at a company like Charter that's looking to raise $500,000, and they're going to burn that over the course of 2 years?
No, they're going to burn it probably within the course of 7 months.
Then why wouldn't they just fundraise for something a little bit? Man, that fundraise process is not a fun one. That takes a while. Why would they do it in 7-month increments?
They're in a alpha product stage, and so they've got a bunch of interesting folks, former Facebook people, some significant people that are backing them. And the thought process is that amount of money will get them to the point where they've done enough user testing, and they have these agreements where the 5 use cases that are going to be, testing this and using this have signed in their LOIs that once the beta comes out, they're going to pay money. So they're trying to time the next raise with the ability to say, hey, we've actually started making money. We've actually got a beta version, and we might go RC or release candidate, and therefore our valuation is going to go up and give us more money.
Right.
That's their thought process. Yeah.
So how many LOIs, and I'm assuming the entities are probably large if they're space related?
Yeah. Like when I looked at the deck, I think it's like 5 LOIs. That might equal equivalent to per LOI like $25,000 or something like that. So it's not. It's not a lot, but it's more than $25. So yeah. But again, another company that's, doesn't have a salesperson on their team. They're just.
What is up with these space tech companies not actually selling the space tech software? This is all new to me.
I don't know. I've just been on calls all day with just crazy companies. Let me see. Where's this one?
Oh, you should have asked Anthony over here.
Anthony, what's going on?
Anthony,
I think I can say something to this fact. So if you don't know, I'm in engineering school and whatnot, and there seems to be a trend of, especially like within young students starting up companies like this, they want to go for the approach not just to make money at first or get out there. It's more about like how detailed and how successful can this product be, right? Like how technologically advanced can things like that be? So what could be happening with these space companies is they're more focused on things like product design or how effective their whatever satellites can be in space, right? Rather than who can we sell this to and how can we make a profit.
I see what JC's thinking right now. He's just like, but what about the money? Where's the money? It's like it's cool that you built the world's next space widget, but how do I make money off of this?
Where's the De Niro's? I'm trying to find their deck right now. Let's see. Yeah, keep going on your thought there, Tony.
Well, it's about it. It's pretty straightforward, but I think their priority is money second or growth second, and then product design, technology, all that first.
The kids are just so altruistic these days, Jason. I'm not into it.
It's true.
Tony.
Yep.
Have you met Carson before?
I have not. How you doing?
Nice to meet you. I kind of see where they're coming from right now. I'm building a social media app, and right now my focus is on making the product as good as possible. I definitely still I still want to grow, but I want to grow at the right time. So like I could put in a big marketing push right now for my app it's on the App Store, but it's kind of in like its alpha stage, and I could get many people on that app with a big marketing push. But if the product isn't good enough, or if it's not ready, then there goes like the success of your company. Like your product definitely needs to be at the right stage before you start to focus on growth.
Yeah, that's fair. I think JC knows my line of thinking in all of this, not with B2C software, but mostly B2B stuff. It's like, just got to make the sale first. The stuff doesn't have to exist. Is this the investor deck for our friends here for Charter?
I would love to hear your thoughts on that, because I'm under the impression that my app has got to be spick and span before I release it to the public. But I know that you can sell people on a dream and then build the product after.
Well, I mean, again, B2C is a bit different because I think people, like your average consumer, has specific requirements for using like a new app, especially today. In terms of B2B, usually it's kind of the inverse. I mean, I think a lot of people have a sense for what a product roadmap should look like and what would sell. Oftentimes it's not the case, especially with an earlier stage company. So what you find happening is, or at least what I've seen work out pretty well, is sell first and then just iterate as you kind of go along. So while your consumers are paying you and giving you very credible feedback because they need to run their business off whatever software you're selling, or at least contributing to how that business operates, they'll yell at you and they'll tell you when things aren't working. And then if that becomes a serious problem area, you make adjustments. So I
literally said that to this team. That was a question. I had 2 teams that are both, SaaS-based teams, software teams, and I asked, "Who's that voice?" Because I know that voice so too well.
Do you need me to yell at them?
Yeah, I know. We need to get them on here, and then you can yell at them all, and then just quickly run off.
Let's do it. Well, I have to jump off, fellas. Let's have a call at 6:30 because
yeah, appreciate the time.
because money never sleeps apparently, or so they tell me. But I also need to invest in some cryptocurrencies. But that's about it on my end, fellas.
Yeah, well, thanks for joining us, Greg.
It's a pleasure. Good.
It's been real, fellas. I'll catch you later.
See you soon.
Take
Catch you on the
care,
Crypto Flip. So Tony, yeah, you know, Carson's got this. Carson, former finance guy, former football player, graduated, had some interesting success in New York, decided that he was A+ at coding, and from the ground up has built this application, which is connecting friends, a group, your closest friends, to be able to kind of share, you know, interesting life experiences together. So you might actually be the target audience for this. I don't know. Carson, what do you think?
Tony, you said you're in engineering school. Where do you go?
Yeah, I go to Queens.
Oh yeah, I'm from Queens too.
Oh, solid. Did you go for commerce or?
I applied economics.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I graduated 2019.
Yeah, I'm on internship right now, but I will graduate in 2025.
2025. What year are you in?
Well, at the time of internship, I was halfway through second year, but I got cut off.
Yeah. So has most of your experience been remote?
Yeah, for the most part. The first year was mostly online.
It's a lot of fun once you finally get to the campus. If I do a good job, you should be hearing about my app soon.
Solid. What's it called?
It's called Speakeasy.
Cool. What's the focus?
So it's a social media for your close friends, and essentially it gives you a better way to communicate with everybody. And so you'll be able to like know what's really going on in your city. Because like if you think about how you stay in touch with, well, you haven't been on campus, but like, how you stay in touch with everybody is like Instagram's not a good way to do that. Like not everyone's on Twitter. Snapchat is just like sending pictures, but there's like, imagine kind of Twitter and a combination of Twitter and Instagram, but for your close friends.
Okay. Well, it's interesting.
So,
yeah,
you're limited to 150 friends. It'll be really cool. Once you have it in your hands, I'm sure you'll enjoy it a lot.
Cool. Yeah, I'll keep my eye out for it. Yeah, boys, I'm gonna be real with you here. I'm kind of got my hands full in the kitchen here, so I might have to dip. But
no problem.
I do appreciate you hosting, though. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you know, we're just testing this stuff out here, so you know, appreciate you jumping on, and glad you're a colleague of Greg's. So you know,
no worries.
Yeah, it's good.
Awesome.
To have.
All right, take care, guys. I gotta run.
Thanks so much.
All right, bye.
Peace. So Carson, if you ever need any actual serious, you know, sales advice, Greg is the guy. You know, I worked with him. He was a director of sales when I was running a fintech insurtech company. So he's the best of the best. He's now founder of a company called Dundas Life, an insurtech company. So he's in the throes of fundraising. He's one of the greatest salesmen that I know. So if you need feedback on that, you know, I'll shoot you a DM and give you his contact, and you can go about your business.
That's
with
awesome. Him. Yeah, I was thinking in my head earlier when you said the space company is raising $500K. I'm like, I feel like that's not enough for a space company.
So it's, you know, what it is it's a software company in space tech. So they're not dealing with any hardware. They're only dealing with software.
Yeah.
So the bills that they have to pay are just really related to, you know, programmers and so forth.
Do you know how many people are on their team?
From the DAC, I'd say 6 people. Yeah.
Good number. Good number to build some software.
Yeah. So they've got like a product manager. They've got the CEO kind of acts as like biz dev, lead gen, you know, doing all the business IP, investor relations stuff. Then they've got, you know, a few other little folks, a UX UI designer, and then 2 other, you know, the CTO, and then I don't remember the 5th one, but
yeah. It was this weekend. It was cool to show off my app in front of a few friends and some interesting parties. Like one big thing I wanted is that I redesigned like how my timeline looks, because I wanted that wow factor that if you've never seen this app before, you look at it and you're like, what is that? And we kind of got that. It was like rolling. Like one person would come to like, what is this? And then the next person comes, like, what is that? You know, so it made me feel really good. Then also I was giving just playing the app in front of people and getting them to like test my UI. I was giving them like a pop quiz, like how would you create a group chat? And I wouldn't say anything, and then they would figure it out. I'd be like, all right, how do you share a moment, but you put a lock on it? And then they would figure it out. And every single thing I threw at them, they figure it out, because I feel like the UI is very simple.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm going to do something here. Let me see if I can update something. You know, one thing that you should do, or you should try and do in those moments. Sorry, how do you? What's the name? Spelling of the company again?
It's Speakeasy, but but it's an EZ at the end.
That.
Pardon?
Speakeasy? Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry, this is just giving me a great opportunity to be able to test this whole thing out. So can you hear the music as well in the background?
I think it's very, very faint.
Okay, good. So I just want to see how faint it was. Let me just bring it up here. How's that?
I think that is almost perfect. I think it might be just 20% too high.
How's that? Still too high?
It's like some casual sound in the background now, I think.
Okay, cool. So I think a really important thing to do from day one right now, which might be a pain in the ass, but if you can get this done logistically, is to video all of that shit. I don't want to sound like Gary Vee, but I would say, you know, content's going to be a key player to this, right? And those experiences you're talking about, yeah, you can replicate that, you know, but like to have, you know, you already got the team, you know, how can you just make it, you know, more coordinated, where like you're going to something, get some dude to like, you know, fire it up on the phone and take this, doing what we're doing here, right? Where like, I was literally talking with my wife, realized that they're talking about Elon Musk and this Twitter thing, and I really didn't agree with it. So I'm like, you know, I got my teleprompter all set up. I run down, turn this thing on, and I just start going. I'm just talking, and there's no one listening. I'm just going. I'm just talking. And then I start texting, signaling people. I'm like, jump on. Whoever's jumping on, jump on. And, you know, now everyone's connected. There's a bunch of people that have been connected. People have been using the software. People are excited. I've got people messaging me back, hey, sorry, man, I can't go on. Now I've created some momentum. This thing's going to be live. I'm going to keep it on my YouTube channel until I need to take it off. You know, that's invaluable stuff. There's some stuff that we talked about today. Maybe I kind of edit it. I record it. It's just invaluable content that could maybe be pushed through the app in some way. You know, like, hey, we just did this. I don't know if that's a possibility, but because you're using video in your application, at least when I, you know, tried to download it, that was the first thing I saw. Might be of interest, right? So, not to overwhelm you, but you know, you want to capture as much as possible.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, I wish I got a video of my friend when he was scrolling down the timeline. Like, he was locked in. He loved it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we can replicate that. It's a real thing. Maybe get the same guy and just say, look, man, we're going to lock in on this. And
yeah, one of my game plan is at least for like a month in this summer. I really want to go back to Kingston and kind of like put the app in front of some of the summer students and just like get the reaction. So that would be a really good time to get like some video of some footage of people seeing it for the first time and just kind of getting their reaction. But yeah, you planned a good seed in my head right there.
And even, you know, you got the StreamYard now. You know, you can push it to YouTube. You can have a Speakeasy YouTube channel where you're doing some of this stuff. You can easily figure out how to connect it to your phone and showcase your phone and showcase the new app stuff, do some demos with some buddies, bring some people on. You know, maybe this is further down the road when you're actually launching this thing. But I'll tell you this much, man, like it's about, you know, how do we maintain building community right now? So my process was, if you're on text, you're on Signal, I'm sending you this link, people are just hopping on their phone or whatever. You saw how easy it was. And these are all dudes from different age groups, different, like, I didn't know Tony. Greg's like just inviting him in. Okay, cool. You know, we got a lawyer here who's in the middle of like a large transaction deal saying that he was going to jump on, but he's trying to finish that up. So who knows what magic you can kind of get and what energy with your demographic. You could get people on and people lit and they're talking about, yeah, we're just doing this live stream about this. I don't know. Maybe I'm kind of, you know, too idealistic, but something to think about.
I think would be really, at least in my eyes, I think the where I could see value is not even necessarily on the live stream aspect of it, like people like viewership, but the fact that you can like save the videos and then you can turn them to like TikToks or Instagram Reels after and be like, look what we talked about. Like that could create a lot of content just by having conversations out there.
Yeah, big time. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Like my intention is to get some really golden stuff. I've got some hardware that allows me to save my, conversations and interviews and so forth. I can do it on Zoom, save it, upload it, but I really want to make it so it's real time, and I've got it set up so I can just save it and push it live to wherever, whether it be YouTube. TikTok obviously is going to require a little bit more finessing, but exactly that. I mean,
you could just hire some student editor. You can get one of those on Upwork for like $5 an hour, and you just send them
that's a great
footage and get them to edit it for TikTok. Get like some highlights. You send them like 2 hours, 3 hours worth of stuff, and they'll give you a couple like 20-second videos right there.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I bet I do that. Yeah,
Upwork. I've had more success on Upwork than Fiverr.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's the background music?
Good. It's like kind of like casual. Not really bothering me or anything.
It's not bothering you? No. Okay.
No, I don't think so. I think it's a good volume. Yeah. I do have to head off though.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for jumping on. Yeah, I appreciate it. The Vivid Vision book, I'll double check on that. I'll see. I've been having some issues with my Amazon, but I'll double check and get back to you on that.
If you tell me the name, I could get myself too.
Well, the book is called Vivid Vision. If you like audio, you Cameron Harold, I think.
Vivid Vision, Cameron Harold.
Yeah.
I will look into it.
Yeah, perfect. You can get an audio copy if you're more into audio and while you're coding, want to listen to it. That might be also useful too.
All right,
brother.
Yeah,
good to see you.
Yeah,
keep coding, man. Get outside, bro. You got to get the energy level up. You know what I mean?
I take walks and stuff, but
yeah,
I could definitely do that.
Hey man, keep that training going. You need that training. I got some kettlebells here. I'm doing 60 pounds over my head, one arm. You know what I mean? Get some kettlebells in there, baby. Get that rocking. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Okay.
Take some notes.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you. Cheers, man. Yeah, so we've got, we're going to sign off now. That was quite exciting. We had quite a few people jumping in on here. So, this is kind of exactly what we wanted, to have numerous people jumping on whenever they can. And just, shooting the stuff, seeing what's going on. We had, literally two entrepreneurs jumping on within a few minutes. So who knows what the Jason Carvalho show is going to produce next week. So we will, maybe tomorrow. So we'll keep trying to push this live. This is going to save and just get hosted right away. So we're live every day. I'm going to say around 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, at the same time that the Bloomberg News does their West Coast tech show with Emily Chang. And with that being said, thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, like, subscribe. That's what the folks say. Let me see if I can get a little banner up here. Like and subscribe. There we go. Boom. Like and subscribe down there. Boom. That's what the YouTubers use. And we'll be on TikTok as well. I'll push that out in the show notes in the bottom of this. And that's around it. So we'll wrap up. I'll push it to Bloomberg. And thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.
Well above estimates, coming in at about 4% and potentially really well above that 2 to 3% band for the RBA. Increasingly, we have more and more investors and trading houses from Bank of America to Nomura to, of course, Westpac's Bill Evans calling for a supersized hike from the RBA. Some are calling for as much as 40 basis points for a big move to bring it to 0.5% for the cash rate or even higher as we get more and more signs of that resilient recovery and heated price pressures in this economy. This is what we're seeing across the curve, that 10-year in particular, just sitting above 3% there, and that 3-year at 2.58 at the moment. Over in New Zealand, we're seeing a similar picture. This, as we see a little bit more of resilience when it comes to the Aussie dollar as well. After being one of the big losers in the overnight session in that G10 space, we had really robust dollar strength, and the Kiwi and the Aussie had both lost out overnight, but the Aussie dollar regaining a little bit in the morning session, just sitting above 71 US cents there, Sherry.
Yeah, in fact, Heidi, let's get our morning calls ahead of the Asia trading day, because of course we were watching Treasury snapping back with those signs of extreme bearishness, and that move really led by the policy sensitive short end of the curve. Citigroup expecting that rally to continue on a tactical basis as one-sided short positioning begins to ease. Strategists say shorts will be caught underwater if the benchmark 10-year yield falls further. Right, and some part of the extreme volatility that we're seeing in bonds has been driven specifically by the COVID outbreak in China. Bloomberg Economics saying that a potential lockdown in Beijing alone may not be as damaging to China's economy as Shanghai's curbs have been, but could still lead to an even bigger spillover effect. Chief Asia economist Chang Shu thinking that other regions will double down on their own COVID zero measures if mass testing in the city ends in a lockdown. She writes that bringing the pointy end of the COVID zero policy to the nation's capital could also catalyze thinking on how to manage the virus going forward, Heidi.
Yeah, let's get some more on what this latest lockdowns in China could mean for the rest of the world. I want to be our senior markets editor and Bloomberg opinion columnist, John Authors. John, great to have you. And we see really Beijing now on the cusp, potentially looking down the barrel as to what has happened in Shanghai. And of course, Shanghai is still trying to extricate itself from levels of isolation and quarantine. What is the end game here, and what are the implications for the markets if we continue to see this lockdown and slowdown in China?
Well, I think the main implication is the kind of effect you have on risk assets globally whenever you do have a slowdown or a slowdown scare in China. The devaluation we've already seen in the yuan is driven in fairly large part by the concerns over growth, driven by the COVID lockdowns, and that leads to knock-on concerns about growth, about revenues across the rest of the world, because China is continues to be the buyer of last resort for most players in the global economy. I think what's interesting is that China's lockdown problems had been viewed until now as a supply problem that could push inflation up. And implicitly, we're now, for some reason, switching around to thinking that the latest version of lockdowns will have more of an effect on demand and therefore push inflation down. So you can make a macro case for more or less anything if you really try hard enough. But the bottom line is that this is bound to have an effect on the rest of the world, and it changes a lot of assumptions.
So, John, when it comes to the market reaction so far to what's happening in China, especially with the yuan falling to levels that we haven't seen since the shock devaluation in 2015, are we back to that sort of situation where people should panic?
I don't think anybody should ever panic. You should, if things are very bad, you should still try to keep your wits around you if you possibly can. You do see the kind of clean out that you've had in Chinese share prices suggests we've now lost all the gains that were made since the last big Chinese surprise devaluation, which was in 2015. That's true whether you look at Hong Kong or ADRs or mainland stocks. So there is a degree to which we've, when you think of the amount of growth China has had in the last 7 years, and the stock market hasn't gained anything from it, that plainly shows you that there's been some reasonable attitude taken to the risk that's out there. I think the biggest risk continues to be what it has been for a while, which is whether there will be knock-on effects for the Chinese real estate market. The problems of Evergrande have not gone away. The problems of high-yield property debt in general have not gone away. And if the COVID slowdown or the lockdowns create even more pressure on that market, then that could yet have more profound ramifications.
illnesses. So the frustration is definitely mounting because the city government on Friday announced it would adopt 9 new actions to achieve the goal of, quote, no community spread. That's another way of saying zero COVID. And that kind of quashed a lot of hopes among Shanghai residents that perhaps some easing of the restrictions would be forthcoming. But it looks as though there's a doubling down of the zero COVID approach. And we've even seen, I've seen the photos. I cannot confirm it, but I've seen other media reporting that some areas have been surrounded by 2-meter-high green fences, people literally being fenced in to keep them, from being out in the streets and protesting. As you can see what's happening here, some iPhone footage of local residents' frustration bubbling over. Meanwhile, Beijing, it's 20 million people, not 25, but they had 21 new local cases on Sunday. Residents of Chaoyang district, which is in the eastern part of the city, is by far the largest district in Beijing proper. And that is seeing, testing is going to be made today, Wednesday, and Friday of all the residents of Chaoyang district, and including 4 smaller communities within Chaoyang district, which is where I lived in Beijing. They are being classified, designated as sealed, that district being sealed, or that neighborhood being sealed, while another 14 are being labeled as controlled. 21 doesn't sound like a lot. It's about 1 out of every 1 million people in Beijing getting infected as of Sunday, but still they're worried. The authorities are worried about it spreading, like what happened in Shanghai.
Yeah, no wonder we are seeing the central part of China as well, where Foxconn makes the most of its iPhones going into lockdown last week as well, right? What do we know about Apple?
Yeah, that's right. And the concern, again, is the supply chain issues, obviously. Zhengzhou, it's iPhone City. That's within one of the special trade zones of Zhengzhou. It went into partial lockdown last week. And the concern is, would, they have the lockdown affecting workers at iPhone City, which makes the most iPhones globally for Foxconn. Would the airport be locked down because the airport is the main conduit for getting iPhones around the world? But the company Foxconn put out a statement late yesterday saying we're still operating normally and the site continues to comply with the government's measures to curb the spread of the virus. Again, a lot of these large factories are doing closed loop systems, keeping people on the site so they can keep pumping out product.
Jesse there? Must be on the call. We'll keep the Bloomberg playing in the background. I was about to sign up for trying to get a buddy of mine on. He's in Paris right now with just trying to organize pushing up the cohort there. Trying to see if I can get him on. I think it's 1 p.m. in Paris.
Good Monday morning from Hong Kong. It's 9 a.m. here in the city. It's also 9 a.m. up in Beijing and in Shanghai. Welcome to the China Open. I'm David Ingles. Let's get to your top stories. This Monday morning, iron ore and oil slumping here and fears of waning Chinese demand as COVID-related deaths rise. That's in Shanghai, and also Beijing is put on alert. The yuan fix is the next key risk event to watch this hour. That's after the currency's worst weekly slump against the dollar since the 2015 yuan devaluation. Plus, the euro is holding steady as we speak after Emmanuel Macron defeats far-right leader Marine Le Pen in the French presidential elections. Right, it's bright and early Monday morning, and welcome to the show. There's lots to get you guys caught up with, everything from what's happening, obviously, over in Europe and the elections there, and obviously what's taking place right now. And likely these next few seconds or so, what will likely reflect here in these Chinese commodity markets. The assets, looking 1.6% on A50 futures. As far as yields go, we are testing 2022 highs. We'll get you more details, really, not just on the lockdowns, but really what exposure investors really want as we move into really the thick of earnings season on the mainland here. Have a look at our European board, please. Europe back above 108. You have, of course, some of these contracts coming online the last hour or so here. Plus Bund futures, as you can see, unchanged as we speak. Broadly so, as you can see, it's fairly risk off as a sort of general tone across these markets right now. Let's have a look at US futures, please, and the rest of the region looking like this. Australia, by the way, New Zealand are shut today. Just keep that in mind. We're down about 0.9% there. Nikkei's off by 1.4%. A quick glance across the yield curve. Treasury yields, 2s, 5s, 10s, and 30s. It's a busy week as far as macro is concerned. GDP numbers, of course, out towards the end of this week. Then you have PMI. And here we go as far as commodity markets are concerned. You have oil, you have gold, you have oil in China, and you have iron ore in China, which should be reflective of that big drop that we are seeing in Singapore. Boom, there we go. 8% drop as we get underway this Monday morning. Just to get you guys up to speed, Shanghai here reporting 51 COVID-19 deaths on Sunday. You have more than 19,000 new COVID cases. The nationwide numbers are out right now, 20,194. That's for Sunday. That's according to CCTV. Let's get more on what's happening here with the China story and also the commodities angle to this. Our Chief North Asia correspondent, Stephen Engel, is with us here in Hong Kong, and also our energy and commodities editor, Andrew James. He joins us out of Singapore. Steve, let's start with you. Get us up to speed. What's happening?
Well, I mean, the numbers on the daily infections in Shanghai have been moderating. Of course, some of the peak, we were at nearly 30,000 a day. A couple of days ago, it was 23,000. And then Saturday, it was 21,000 and change. And then now this latest number for Sunday is 19,000, as you said, 19,455.
So,
but
yeah, hey, Jess.
contrasting to
just got
that
your
is
text
the
here.
death
So
toll is rising.
we had a bunch of
39
people
on
here on
Saturday
board,
and now 51 reported for Sunday. So that is the, what, 138 deaths since the peak began in February. So that is the most concerning, and there's no indication that the zero COVID policies and the lockdowns, which is now entering its fifth week. It's been 4 weeks of lockdown in Shanghai, is going to abate. So there's going to be more public frustration. Now we need to turn the page to Beijing. I'm not saying it's Beijing's turn. They're not going to have lockdown, but Chaoyang District is essentially starting its 3-day testing cycle of all its residents. There's 3.6 million people in Chaoyang District. It's the largest district in Beijing. It's in the east part of the city. It's home to the Central Business District. It's home to all the embassies and diplomatic compounds. Most of the foreign businesses are there. The Olympic Green is there. It's 475 square kilometers and 3.6 million people. Mass testing begins today, then Wednesday and Friday. And there are certain sub-districts, 41 sub-districts within Chaoyang, which is where I lived when I lived in China. It's a massive sprawling area, but at least 14 of those sub-districts are being described as sealed, as well as another 14 labeled as controlled. So 21 cases
like a billionaire
on
who runs
Sunday
craft
in
ventures,
Beijing, Chaoyang
with
District. It's
Tim
not a lot,
Bloomberg,
but they don't want to
columnist
repeat of
about
Shanghai.
why is it bad that Elon has acquired.
Yeah, investors to see the
Twitter.
headlines,
So,
right? And
with that being said,
just
yeah,
given
thanks
the
for jumping on.
sentiment and how
You're
weak
probably
it is right
driving.
now, you understand why
Yeah, text me. Let me know if you
people are
want to
just
touch
really
base
jittery over every single development that's coming here, Steve. Andrew, let me bring you in. Commodity markets, even from Friday, started dropping. Singapore iron ore this morning, and now these last few minutes, iron ore in Dalian. Just give us the latest.
We'll touch base. Keep getting those
Yeah,
intros
hi.
going.
Well, iron ore in Singapore fell about
thanks for jumping on.
12% at the
Definitely we
open.
should jump on here,
And
actually.
yeah, it
I'll send you a
appears
link and you can
the
jump on
news
here
about the
and,
mass testing in
we can talk
Chaoyang
publicly,
has
and
really
we
spooked the
can go
market.
off the air as
Obviously,
well if we wanted to.
Shanghai has been
just
pretty
trying
much
to keep,
paralyzed for the last
keep
month or
discussions
so.
going
So
when it
there are
comes to
now
space,
concerns this could happen
live
in
streaming and getting
Beijing,
that content out.
other cities as
And
well.
yeah,
I mean,
just
iron
beating
ore,
the
the
purpose.
key
I just
ingredient for
bought this
making
teleprompter,
steel,
which is
so
right
it's
in
very
front of
much
me.
the
So we got the
prices are
camera
very
behind the
much
teleprompter.
a
I've got
barometer
multiple
of
screens here that
the
are taking
economic,
place
the
in
outlook
this
for
streamer
economic activity
software
in
allows me
China.
to move things back and forth. But I'm going to jump off now. I've got
Andrew James and Stephen Engel there getting us up to speed on the virus situation. And as we were pointing out there, of course, futures are pointing lower. We're looking at the fixture after poleaxing the currency.
We're going to go do that right
Speaking
now.
of the currency here, let's have a
Thanks
look
for
at the
jumping
euro
on.
here.
Great
We're
call
holding
today.
steady. I mean, we opened higher early Monday. We're last I checked, we were back above 108 here against the US dollar. Of course, that victory, Emmanuel Macron.
I'm going to jump off. Thanks again.
Right leader Marine Le Pen in the French presidential elections. In fact, let's get more on the story
tomorrow.
Here. We're joined by Bloomberg TV's international correspondent based in Paris, Carolyn Conan, joining us right now. Carolyn, good morning from Hong Kong, the Asia Pacific. Yeah, just help us understand really the significance of this win.